The wedding planner's voice trembled. "Hi. I just wanted to confirm something," she said carefully. "Your family asked to remove you from the guest list, but they want to keep the $50,000 deposit you paid." I didn't blink. I smiled. "Actually," I said softly, "cancel the entire event." Pause. "But ma'am, you're not the bride." I let the silence stretch just long enough. "No," I said. "But I own the venue, the catering company, and the hotel they booked for their guests. My name is Tessa Monroe. And if you think you know how this ends, you don't. Because this isn't just about a wedding. It's about what happens when loyalty gets mistaken for weakness, and silence becomes strategy." I wasn't supposed to hear it. I wasn't supposed to get that call. They thought I'd do what I always did, pay, smile, disappear. But something in the planner's voice told me this time, they had gone too far. I pulled up the contract. Every clause. Every signature. My name on all of it. With one email I could erase everything. I didn't send it right away. I sat there instead. Let the memories come. Being the responsible one. The fixer. The one who wrote checks without being asked twice. The daughter who helped with the down payment on my father's house, and slept on the couch when I visited. The sister who upgraded her brother's engagement ring because he couldn't afford better. I showed up. I always showed up. Now I wasn't even invited. Erased from the guest list, but still expected to fund the fairy tale. Oh, not this time. This wasn't about the money. It was about dignity. Finally, I opened a new email. Typed 6 words into the subject line. Event cancellation. Full authority confirmed. Because revenge doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like paperwork. The cancellation went through at 6:09 p.m. By 6:17 my phone was exploding. Missed calls. Voicemails. A text from my mother. "What the hell did you just do?" I didn't respond. Instead I watched the family group chat light up. My brother. "Someone just told me the venue is gone." His fiancée. "Is this a joke? Who does that?" And my mother. Silent. Probably already rewriting the story like she always did. Let me rewind. 3 months ago they asked for a little help. Just deposits, they said. Just to secure the dream. I paid. Quietly. Like always. No invitations to tastings. No fittings. No rehearsals. When I asked, my mother brushed it off. "You're too busy anyway. Let them have their day. Their day. Their dream. My money." I played my role. Supportive. Invisible. Reliable. Until brunch. They didn't know I was behind them in line. Didn't hear me stop. My future sister-in-law laughed. "She's not coming, right? It's not her day. She's always so serious." And my mother? She agreed. "Tessa doesn't need a seat. She's just the wallet." That wasn't a crack. That was a break. Clean. Final. So when the planner called, it wasn't a surprise. It was confirmation. They hadn't forgotten me. They removed me. Deleted me. But here's what they forgot. I wasn't a guest. I was the contract. The signature. The reason anything existed at all. They thought they were using me. They didn't realize. I built the entire table. So I flipped it. No yelling. No warning. Just silence. And consequences they never saw coming. And still, that was only the beginning. Because what they didn't know, what they never bothered to understand, was just how much I actually owned. The next day they tried damage control. My brother called first. 6 times. No voicemail. Just silence. Like if he didn't say anything, I'd crack and call back. Eventually a message came through. "Tess, I don't know what you think you heard, but we love you. This wedding means everything to us. Please don't ruin it." I sat on my balcony, coffee in hand, watching the sky fade into a dull gray. Please don't ruin it. As if I hadn't already poured $50,000 into something I wasn't even invited to. As if they hadn't erased me. Reduced me to a transaction. An inconvenience with a credit limit. It wasn't just the wedding. It was every birthday I organized. Every crisis I paid for. Every time I asked for basic respect and got labeled dramatic for it. So no, I wasn't ruining anything. They already had. What they didn't know. The venue wasn't the only thing tied to me. The catering company? I bought a controlling share 2 years ago during a quiet investment round. The hotel? My name wasn't on the building, But every contract ran through Tessa a Holdings. So when my sister-in-law's family landed, expecting luxury rooms and seamless check-in, they were met with polite confusion at the front desk. Unfortunately, your booking has been cancelled. The group chat exploded. We just landed. Where are we staying? Why didn't the shuttle show up? Wait, the dinner is cancelled too? I watched it all unfold without saying a word. Because some lessons don't land through arguments. They land through absence. No comfort. No control. No safety net. Just the quiet realization that the person you depended on is gone. By evening my phone rang again. My mother. Tessa, she snapped. You've made your point. Fix this. Now. I let the silence sit for a second. Then I said one word. No. Pause. You removed me from the guest list, I added calmly. I'm just respecting your decision. And I hung up. No tears. No shaking. Because the cleanest kind of revenge is removing the ground beneath someone who thought they could stand on you forever. The wedding was 3 days away. Now there was no wedding. The venue, gone. Catering, cancelled. Hotel block, erased. Vendors started backing out one by one. And still, no one said the truth out loud. Because saying it would mean admitting. We cut out the one person paying for everything. So instead they lied. My brother blamed a system error. My mother called the planner incompetent. And my future sister-in-law? She posted a filtered selfie with the caption, "Pray for us. People don't want to see us happy." I almost laughed. Because if there's one thing people like that hate more than consequences, it's a mirror. And that's all I gave them. A reflection. But here's the part they never saw coming. It wasn't just money. It was control. While they mocked me for working too hard, I was buying pieces of the world they lived in. Quietly. Strategically. The banquet hall where my brother proposed? I own a significant share of the portfolio behind it. The restaurant where they hosted their engagement dinner? Part of a chain I invested in last year. Every time they treated me like a walking wallet, I turned that money into leverage. Piece by piece. Until their entire fairy tale rested on foundations they didn't realize were mine. That night my grandmother called. One of the few who never pretended not to see me. "You all right, baby?" she asked softly. I smiled. "Yeah," I said. "Just breathing different." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "You gave them too many chances. But this is the first time you gave yourself one." That stayed with me. Because she was right. I had spent years trying to earn a place at a table I built myself. No. I had flipped it over. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. The silence didn't last up by morning they were at my door. Not figuratively. Literally. My brother. Wrinkled suit, no tie, sweat gathering at his temples like guilt finally had somewhere to go. I didn't open the door right away. I let him stand there. Let him sit in the discomfort of being ignored for once. When I finally opened it, he rushed in before I even said hello. "Tessa, look, none of this was supposed to happen like this," he said quickly. "I didn't even know they took you off the list until the planner called me." I just looked at him. "You didn't know," I repeated quietly. He hesitated. The kind of hesitation people have when they're trying to decide how much truth they can afford. "You didn't know," I said again, "that your own wedding didn't include me?" His gaze dropped immediately. Guilty. Not surprised. That told me everything. Then came the line they always fall back on. "You know how mom is." I let out a short laugh. Dry. Almost tired. "Yes," I said. "I do. And you've all been using that sentence like it's a shield for 30 years. He shifted, stepping closer like he expected to be let in. I didn't move. "You cancelled everything," he said, voice lower now. "People flew in. Her family is furious. We're being humiliated." I leaned lightly against the doorframe. "So what you're saying," I said, "is I stopped funding the performance." He didn't answer. So I kept going. "You let them erase me," I said. "After everything I've done for this family. You stood there while they called me a wallet with legs, and you said nothing." His jaw tightened. "Tess, I was trying to keep the peace." "No," I cut in. "But, please, you were trying to keep the illusion alive." Silence stretched between us. Then he exhaled, slower now. "So what is this?" he asked. "Revenge." I shook my head once. "No," I said. This is math. Pause. I subtracted myself. That was it. I closed the door. Not slammed. Just closed. Final. Later that afternoon my phone buzzed with a DM from someone I didn't know. A cousin from his fiancé's side. Hey. I just wanted to say, what you did was kind of badass. They really do treat you like you're invisible. I saw it. I stared at it for a long moment. Sometimes strangers see what families refuse to admit. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was imagining it. I felt grounded. The wedding was officially dead. Invitations trashed. Vendors backing out. The florist refused to refund anything, claiming the bride had been unprofessional and dismissive on the phone. Karma didn't need timing. It just showed up when it was ready. That weekend I stayed home. Quiet apartment. Plants watered. Records playing in the background. Old ones my mother used to call too emotional when guests were over. Funny how silence sounds different when it belongs to you. Then came my father's text. You've made your point. Fix this before this family falls apart. I stared at it for a second. Falls apart. As if it hadn't been cracking for years already. As if I wasn't the one holding the weak parts together just by existing. I didn't reply. Because they didn't want a sister. They wanted a repair tool. Someone to clean up the mess while they blamed the shattered glass on the one who finally stopped stepping on it. And I was done. Or at least, I was almost done. Because there was still one last thread left. One final thing they thought I'd forgotten. The ring. The perfect engagement ring. The one I upgraded. A $12,500 diamond my brother couldn't afford but insisted on anyway. Make it special, he said. I'll pay you back after the honeymoon. He never did. And legally, it was still mine. My card. My receipt. My appraiser. My name. So I called the jeweler. Is it still untouched? I asked. Yes, she said. Not altered at all. Do you want us to hold it? No, I said. I want it reset. Pause. Smaller. Simpler. Clean band. For a gift, she asked. Yes, I said. Then after a beat. For me. Because from now on I only wear what I own. Nothing borrowed. Nothing taken. Nothing used to buy my silence. The jeweler's voice softened. Good for you, she said. That afternoon I picked it up. A smaller diamond. Simple gold band. No history anyone else could read. But I could feel it. That night, one final group message lit up my phone. My brother's message came first. We're rescheduling the wedding in 6 months. Hope you'll be there. Then my mother. Let's try to move forward. Like nothing had happened. Like nothing had been revealed. Like I hadn't just removed myself from a system that only valued me when I was paying for it. My reply wasn't a paragraph. It wasn't an explanation. It wasn't even a warning. It was a photo. A simple shot of the new ring on my finger. Small diamond, gold band, no noise, no excess. Captioned. Finally married to the only person who ever showed up for me, myself. By Monday morning the family chat detonated. Aunt Karen. Folded hands, folded hands, folded hands. What is this supposed to mean? My cousin. Is this real or a joke? My mother called 5 times. I didn't answer once. They weren't used to this version of me. The one who didn't explain. Didn't soften. Didn't bend at the first sign of discomfort. The woman who used to beg for inclusion. Now no longer applied for entry. Then came the voicemail. My almost sister-in-law. Her voice sharp, panicked, unraveling at the edges. Tessa, I don't know what your problem is, she snapped. But you've ruined everything. Do you realize how selfish you've been? You embarrassed all of us. You're unstable. I played it twice. Not because it hurt. But because it confirmed something important. Even when you give them diamonds, they'll still call you cold the moment you stop bowing. I forwarded the voicemail to my lawyer. Just in case, I wrote. Because once people realize you won't take the blame anymore, they tend to escalate. And then I did something no one expected. I booked the ballroom. The same one. The one they thought they had erased me from. The one they had turned into a symbol of exclusion. But this time it wasn't for them. It wasn't for a wedding. It was for something else entirely. A gala. For women who give too much and are thanked too little. The theme. Reclaim. Rebuild. Rise. I didn't invite influencers. I didn't invite family. I invited the ones who actually understood the cost of being invisible while still being needed. Nonprofit leaders, teachers, social workers, artists, caregivers, women like me, who once confused being essential with being loved. I called the florist. Peonies, I said. Soft pink. Make it impossible to ignore. I called the caterers. Use the wedding menu, I said. But elevate it. They deserve better than what was planned for people who never valued me. When the event page went live, I didn't have to guess who saw it first. My mother. My brother. Her caption read, "When they cut you from the guest list, build a better table." The night of the gala, the ballroom didn't feel like a venue anymore. It felt like a correction. Warm light spilled across polished floors. Music softened the air instead of filling silence. Laughter wasn't polite, it was real. No performance. No hierarchy. No one waiting to be chosen. Just women standing fully in their lives, not shrinking to fit anyone else's expectations. At the center of it all I stood. Not behind a spreadsheet. Not behind a checkbook. Not behind anyone else's dream. Just present. Someone tapped a glass. They wanted a speech. I never liked speeches. But that night I didn't need one. I raised my glass anyway. To the women who stayed quiet too long. Pause. To the sisters who paid the bill and got left off the guest list. To the daughters who held the family together while it tore them apart. I paused, letting the words settle into the room. Tonight we stop asking to be invited. We build the room ourselves. For a second there was silence. Then applause. Soft at first. Careful. Like people weren't sure they were allowed to believe it. And then it grew. Louder. Realer. Something in my chest loosened for the first time in years. My hands weren't shaking. Not once. That's when I saw them. At the far edge of the ballroom. Near the entrance. My brother. My mother. Not dressed for celebration. Not dressed for anything that belonged inside. Just standing there. Like intruders in a life they never thought I'd fully step into. Like ghosts who showed up too late to haunt anything that still belonged to them. My mother took a step forward. A staff member gently moved into her path. "This is a private event, ma'am. No confrontation. No escalation. Just a boundary. Clear. Final. Unmovable." I didn't flinch. I didn't rush toward them. I didn't soften the moment so they could survive it more comfortably. I just watched. And for the first time I understood what safety actually felt like. Not a name. Not approval. Not fear dressed up as family. But structure. Protection I had built myself, piece by piece, until it finally stood between me and everything that used to break me. They didn't come in. They couldn't. There was no scene. No shouting. No last-minute confession. Just hesitation, and then retreat. My brother said something to her I couldn't hear. My mother looked once more toward the room, toward me, and then turned away. And that was it. No collapse. Just absence. The quiet end of something that had taken too long to finish. Later that night, when the music softened and the room started to empty, I stepped away from the crowd. I took off the ring. Held it for a moment under the warm light. Then placed it in a velvet box. Not because I regretted it. Because I remembered everything it represented. All the times I chose myself instead of survival disguised as loyalty. All the losses that led me here. I closed the lid gently. And whispered almost to no one. "Thank you. For everything I had to lose to get here." The night didn't end in chaos. It ended in music. Slow. Warm. Honest. No wedding. No performance. No applause that needed permission to exist. Just people breathing easier in a room that finally belonged to those who had never been given one. And for once in my life, that was enough.